With profound, humble gratitude and love to all venerated enlightened masters, we bow to the Almighty in soulful gratefulness for gifting us with their holy, blessed presence. May all beings be awakened by their divine grace.
Part 3 of 4.
Etc.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I am not a poor man. I am rich. There are temples and books. They are existing. They are there. But time is separating us from them. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vegetarian. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vegetarian, bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world, Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Go ahead and make war. So there will be numerous coffins on both sides. And your coffin will be just as similar as theirs.
If you have the pleasure of visiting the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, a useful phrase to know is Dhanyavad. That's thank you in the Hindi language. Noble viewers, I am Geeta. The sincere people of Andaman and Nicobar Islands thank God for such peaceful people as you and send you warmest regards. Welcome to Part 2 of the two-part series entitled His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vegetarian, bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada or Srila Prabhupada is considered a foremost Vedic translator and scholar of modern times. He was a Sri Guru of Gaudiya Vaishnavism and the founder Acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness or ISKCON, also known as the Hare Krishna movement. In Part 1, we discovered how Srila Prabhupada was destined to bring the ancient wisdom found in the Vedic scriptures to Western lands. Srila Prabhupada spent the next 4 decades contemplating upon the instruction received from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, until he was ready to fulfill his mission. In 1959, Srila Prabhupada received initiation into the order of sannyasa or renunciation. In the same year, he also began his life's greatest work, a translation and commentary of the multi-volume 18,000-verse Bhagavata Purana. Living humbly at the Vamsi Gopal temple in Vrindavan, he would sometimes practice madhukari, or collecting little food for one's maintenance door to door. But instead of food, he would ask for pen and paper so he could compile preaching materials for the world. Several years later, and nearing the age of 70, Srila Prabhupada finally had the chance to travel to the West. He set sail on a 35-day trip aboard a cargo ship from Kolkata, India, to New York City, United States. It was considered an almost impossible mission, and he was warned that the rough seas were not safe for an elderly person. Leaving with only 40 rupees, an umbrella, some dry cereal, personal baggage, and a trunk full of the translated Bhagavata Purana, Srila Prabhupada was still undeterred. Along the way, he suffered seasickness, dizziness, and 2 heart attacks. Praying for help, he wondered whether he would be able to survive the journey. That night, God and Here's many incarnations appeared to him in a dream. Srila Prabhupada saw they were on a boat and the Lord assured his protection. After his dream, the rest of the journey was smooth. He wrote in his diary,
"If the Atlantic would have shown its usual face, perhaps I would have died. But Lord Krishna has taken charge of the ship."
Even the captain of the ship noted it was the calmest journey across the Atlantic Ocean he had ever witnessed. Srila Prabhupada arrived at New York City Harbor on September 17, 1965. He meditated on how to best introduce Krishna consciousness to the Westerners. With unwavering faith that the mission would be fulfilled, he told a local subway conductor in passing conversation,
"I am not a poor man. I am rich. There are temples and books. They are existing. They are there. But time is separating us from them."
When speaking about his mission, he would always mention "we," referring to his spiritual master who sent him, and Lord Krishna, saying, "I am never alone."
The ignoble ones who eat flesh, death's agent bind them fast and push them quick into the fiery jaws of hell. Tirumantiram, Hinduism.
Cherished viewers, let's take a few deep breaths, feeling grounded and peaceful in the present moment. We'll be right back after a short interlude here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Vegetarian, bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world, Part 2 of 2. In New York, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada still lived in modest conditions as he began preaching the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in a small storefront. Word spread and Krishna consciousness became popular among the American youth searching for something more than material and mundane life. In 1991, Supreme Master Ching Hai spoke of the effects of Srila Prabhupada's movement in the United States.
You see, despite all the political movement or some of the unfortunate commercial motive which try hard to corrupt the American society with drugs, with strong alcoholic advertisement and persuasion. The American people, the intelligent Americans, are awakening. And we have to thank the people like the Master Prabhupada and those monks and nuns under their guidance who dedicate their youth, energy, life, money, whatever they have, and their intelligence to the cause of reconstructing a healthy, great America. Great America, yes.
After a year in the United States, Srila Prabhupada founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or ISKCON, and the Hare Krishna movement grew. With the help of his devotees, the mission he set out to complete was being fulfilled. In the next 12 years of his life, he extensively traveled the globe 14 times around, preaching in the Americas, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. In London, England, the Hare Krishna movement also attracted the attention of George Harrison, famed musician and lead guitarist of the Beatles. An uninitiated devotee, he assisted Srila Prabhupada in providing funds to print one of his popular books, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a summary of the 10th canto of the Bhagavata Purana. Mr. Harrison also wrote songs influenced by the Guru, including his single titled My Sweet Lord, which became number 1 on music charts worldwide and the biggest selling single of 1971 in the UK. Today there are over 500 ISKCON centers, temples, schools, farm communities, and associated vegetarian restaurants worldwide. With Srila Prabhupada's vision that no one within a 10-kilometer radius of an ISKCON center should go hungry, a vegetarian food relief initiative was founded. The Bhaktivedanta Book Trust was also established, which is now a major publisher of India's religious culture. Perhaps Srila Prabhupada's greatest legacy in his contribution of over 80 volumes on Vedic literature and Krishna Bhakti, providing word-for-word translations, commentaries and summaries in English. Now translated into 76 more languages, his works have been highly regarded internationally among academics for their depth and clarity. His most well-known publications include his translations of the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavata Purana, which are used as study materials in many university courses. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada considered translating Vedic scriptures and writing to be his main purpose. Despite his busy schedule, traveling and preaching, he reserved his nights to continue working on his publications, barely sleeping. He continued this dutifully up until his departure from the world in 1977. He passed away in Vrindavan, India, surrounded by loving disciples who carry on his mission today. At the inauguration of a new ISKCON center in New Delhi in 1998, India's 10th Prime Minister, His Excellency Atal Bihari Vajpayee said,
If today the Bhagavad Gita is printed in millions of copies in scores of Indian languages and distributed in all nooks and corners of the world, the credit for this great sacred service goes chiefly to ISKCON. For this one accomplishment alone, Indians should be eternally grateful to the devoted spiritual army of Swami Prabhupada's followers. The voyage of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the United States in 1965 and the spectacular popularity his movement gained in a very short span of 12 years must be regarded as one of the greatest spiritual events of the century.
Throughout all his efforts and contributions, Srila Prabhupada never took any credit. He wrote,
Personally, I am a non-entity. I have come here on the order of my spiritual master, and he has kindly sent all you boys and girls to assist me. So, whatever is being done, there is no credit for me, but all the credit goes to my spiritual master, because he has arranged everything and I am simply to abide by his order.
His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada brought a love for God into the lives and hearts of thousands of people in multiple corners of the globe. He started a movement that is continuing to uplift and remind people of a spiritual, peaceful way of life and shared with the world ancient wisdom from the Vedas, once only held in India. We are ever thankful for His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and all the saints who have presented a life's example of pure devotion and faith, encouraging all who hear their stories to continue on their paths towards knowing God.
Non-vegan, tested positive for low intelligence.
Enlightened viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company today. May your faith in the divine strengthen every day, bringing peace and contentment to your heart.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/ls.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/ls.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/ls.
我们的节目提供多种语言，请看 suprememastertv.com/schedule 和 suprememastertv.com/ls。